Hello folks, and welcome to a new series on my channel. It's called 10 Questions from a Guitar Player to a Guitar Player. My first guest is Alexander Beyrodt, and for all of you who may not know Alex, he's a German guitar player, pretty well known for being in bands like Voodoo Circle, Silent Force, Primal Fear, and of course he's one of the guitar players of the Rock Meets Classic tour, where he had the chance to play with artists like Alice Cooper, Ian Gillan from Deep Purple, Joey Tempest from Europe, and of course, Steve Lukather, the man himself. Alex is not only a musician and guitar player, he is founder of Guitar Slinger products. I already did a review of this pedal, the RB1011. Check out the link over there. Speaking of links, I put some links in the description if you want to know more about Alex and his work. And now to the questions. Hello folks, and welcome to a new edition of 10 questions to guitar players from guitar players. And our guest today is Alex Beyrodt.
Hello.
Thanks for having us in your personal studio.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And we just had the opportunity to listen to the first songs of your upcoming new and the first instrumental album that you did.
Yeah. It's actually quite interesting, and it was not so easy to do. It was, like you said, my first instrumental album, and I've always been a band guitar player with a lead singer, and this time I thought it's about time to do something different. But I'm actually quite happy with the result.
It sounds amazing. That's what I can tell you right now. And there are some parts and songs in that you wouldn't thought of that Alex would do them someday.
Well, yeah. It's gonna surprise a couple of people.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
So when it's out, listen to it, buy it, or stream it, or download it, or whatever you want to do with it. It's really worth it. It's a really masterpiece of guitar work that you have over here. And there's another thing why I came to your studio. It's a piece of your other brand that you have, not only your music, not only the guitar parts. There's another brand that's called Guitar Slinger Products.
Yeah, exactly.
And you showed me a new pedal.
Yeah. Well, this one, I think we know.
Yeah.
It's the RB1011, and you made a nice review about it, a nice video. It's actually it's quite successful. And everybody knows I'm a huge Reggie Blackmore fan, and that's why I came up with this remake of his Iowa tape recorder. And this is brand new. It's not released yet. You can't buy it yet, but in a couple of weeks. It's called 87 MK3. And it is my interpretation of the guitar sound recorded on Whitesnake's 87 multi-platinum selling album.
Which everyone who is a guitar player is seeking for, because it's high gain, it's dynamic, it's rich, it's full of bass.
Very rich.
Yeah.
Very rich without getting muddy. And I designed this pedal together with Santiago Alvarez.
Oh, you know this guy, I think.
The famous Marshall engineer, who is responsible for the Ingrid Malmsteen Marshall,
Marshall,
Joe Satriani Marshall,
Slash Marshall, of course, yeah.
Kerry King, and a couple of and the JVM series.
Of course, yeah. Right.
And a longtime friend of mine, actually.
Really?
Before he worked at Marshall, we already knew each other and we are friends.
He's a cool guy.
Yeah, he is. And he's responsible for the electronic circuit in this masterpiece.
And not only did I had the chance to listen to the new songs, I had the chance to play through this pedal. And what else can I say? You will see the review on my channel in a couple of weeks, but it really sounds like 87.
Yeah,
it's a time warp. You play it with a Les Paul, and then you are in 1987.
Yeah, exactly.
Really.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to get it into my studio and get some great sounds out of it. Okay, long story short, 10 questions to
I'm nervous.
two guitar players from guitar players. First question is, when did you start playing the guitar?
I think I was around 14.
Okay, same age as I
I
was.
started with the electric guitar when I was 14. I bought an old Höfner
Yeah, right.
from my neighbor from the 60s. And
The one with the 1,000 knobs.
the one with the 1,000 knobs.
1,000 knobs, 1,000 knobs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And actually, unfortunately, I destroyed it in my Eddie Van Halen days. I painted it and sprayed it, and it's completely unplayable.
Okay.
Unfortunately, because it would be a vintage guitar. But when I was 14.
That's pretty late for a guitar hero like you are. It's 14. Normally, you know all these guys that tell you, I was 6 years old and...
Well, yeah, but I was actually into motocross.
Oh, okay.
And I started with 14, and in the age of 16, I bought my first Fender Strat,
Okay.
which is right next to you over here.
You still have it.
I still have it. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I still have it. And so maybe I was late, but from the first day I played in a band. That's also maybe different from others. I was always in a band my whole life.
So you knew what you wanted and from that point on...
From that moment when I played the very first time Smoke on the Water through a tube radio, not an amplifier, a tube radio, because I couldn't afford an amplifier. From that moment, I decided I want to become a professional rock guitar player.
That you did. Really?
Somehow I did it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, to the next question. What did you start playing the guitar?
You mean...
What was the spark? Like seeing Richie Blackmore or Hendrix?
Okay.
Or just being cool looking on stage?
Okay, that's... Okay. I saw, and this is a little bit embarrassing, but I was watching a TV show. And there was a guy, he was all dressed in black, and he played a white Fender Strat, and his name was Ricky King.
And he's famous in Germany.
In Germany, he is or was really famous for his instrumentals.
Yes.
And I watched it, and I said to my mom, Mom, this guy is playing the electric guitar, but he's only playing on one string. I also can do that. I want to do that. It looks quite easy.
Yeah.
And this is how it started.
Cool. So, for you at home to explain you, it's Ricky King is like the German version of the Shadows.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Yeah.
And he's playing this white Strat, and he's playing a lot of great melodies.
Absolutely.
And he's always looking like a gentleman.
Yeah.
And cool guy. Check out Ricky King.
Ricky King. Yeah.
Great.
That's how it started, actually.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. Ricky.
And then, of course, I listened to Hendrix, and I was a huge Bay City Rollers fan in the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
And the Sweet, of course, and then Status Quo, Kiss, and then Hendrix, and Deep Purple, Led Zeppelin, the usual stuff.
Okay. So, knowing this, next question. What are your main influences in the way you play guitar today?
Richie Blackmore, Jimi Hendrix, John Sykes, and maybe Yngwie Malmsteen. Yeah,
Of course.
of course.
Yeah. Who also is influenced by Blackmore.
Yeah, and Randy Rhoads. I have a special connection to Randy Rhoads because I saw him live.
Really?
Here in Saarbrücken, 1981. And when he came on stage and started playing, I had no idea who he was or anything. There was no such thing like the internet. It was just Ozzy Osbourne was supporting, I think it was Judas Priest or something.
Okay.
And they started playing, and I was like blown away. And I closed my eyes, and I said to myself, and I remember this so clearly, from now on, you will only play guitar and nothing else anymore. This is the only way for you to
Great
live your
story.
life.
Great story. So
Yeah,
you,
really.
you didn't know him, but you knew he was great.
He started playing, it was like, what the hell is this? It was like an amazing moment. I was already playing guitar, but I had no idea what you also can do and how you can sound.
Yeah.
And, you know, like I said, there was no internet.
He was special. That's right.
He was
yeah.
definitely very special. And at that night, it was Tommy Aldridge, Rudy Sarzo, and Ozzy Osbourne, and Randy Rhoads. And I met Rudy Sarzo a couple of years ago in Los Angeles during the NAMM show.
Okay.
And I told him the story that I made the decision to become a professional musician.
Because of this.
That night, it was so special to me. And he remembered that show.
Really?
And he shook my hand and he said, it's a pleasure to meet you. And I asked him, would you play bass on one of my songs on my first Voodoo Circle record? And he said it would be my pleasure to do it. And he did. He played
Right.
bass on one song.
Great.
So that's why Voodoo Circle actually is called Voodoo Circle.
Because
the
the
circle
and
was,
from the
was
beginning.
closed. And nobody knows that. But that's actually how the band name came together.
By the way, if you don't know the album, buy it. Great.
Please.
Great.
Listen
Really,
to it.
really. So next question, I think we already answered it. Your first guitar was this black Stratocaster.
No, the first guitar was this Höfner
Höfner?
with the 1,000 knobs. And then the next one was this black 79 Strat.
Okay, so you had it in the beginning when you started. You had the chance to buy a German copy of something or an original guitar. There was no Japanese companies or anything else.
Oh, my friend, my neighbor friend, he had a Tokai already. Was it an Ibanez? No, it was an Ibanez.
Okay, it was one. Of
I
the
hit
first
an
brands.
Ibanez Les Paul in wine red.
Yeah.
But I was totally into Blackmore and all
And
this. So
Stratocasters.
I needed a black Strat. And,
Okay,
yeah.
great. The next question is: I'm playing the guitar or I'm a guitar player?
That's a good question.
That's a good question, isn't it?
I think I'm playing the guitar.
Really?
Yeah, because if you say I'm a guitar player, I think that means you also can read music and you can play different styles and you're confident in all kinds of music. But I think I just play the guitar, like the way
You like to?
I do like my own thing.
I didn't expect that. from
Well,
you.
maybe my interpretation of the question is wrong, but
No, you're completely right, because I'm playing the guitar because I'm not living from playing the guitar, which is often, if you say I'm a guitar player, most of the guys say I'm a guitar player. I'm making my money out of playing the guitar. But
well, I looked at
Yeah.
it more like an artistic.
that's interesting.
Artistic
Yeah,
thing.
that's nice.
Yeah, maybe it's a different view.
Great. Thank you. When did you first realize that you are a professional guitar player?
That's also a good question. The thing is, you think you are professional because you have big shows and play bigger gigs and you play in a known band, but that doesn't mean you are professional. Professionalism is something different. It means you have to be in time, you have to be prepared, and you show up showered and good looking, shaved, and I mentioned prepared, right? Yeah. And it's not like you play in a known band and everybody likes you and you are famous or successful. That's something different.
Right.
And I think when was the first time? Well, when I joined Sinner back in 1988, I definitely thought I am professional, but I wasn't. I just thought I am because I played in a professional band.
Big shot game.
Yeah, I think maybe in the like mid-90s or something. That was the first time when I said to myself that what I do is professional work. Maybe mid-90s.
Yeah. A little bit before we first met. We met first time, I think, beginning of the 2000s.
Yeah, probably during the music fair or something.
Yeah,
Frankfurt
something
Music
like that.
Messe or something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Great, thank you. Next question is a little bit easier.
Okay.
Major or minor?
Minor.
Whoa!
What a surprise! What a surprise!
Really? It's like 95% of all guitar players would say minor.
Yeah. I'm much more.
Why do all these
confident in
stretches
minor.
and no?
It's much
It's
easier.
too fun, too much, too happy, and
I don't know. It's more dramatic. It's more. I like it better. Always did.
I think we both can say it's harmonic minor.
Even more. Yeah.
Even more.
Even more.
And I still can remember the day that my guitar teacher showed me the first harmonic minor lick, and it took me half a year to understand it because it sounded so wrong. This like Turkish music, Arabian, little, and now I love it.
Yeah.
It's okay, minor, folks, minor. Next question is a little bit longer. There's a jam session. You are on stage.
Mm-hmm.
Before you, the song is While My Guitar Gently Weeps,
Mm-hmm.
Beatles.
Oh, I made a cover version of that.
Really?
On my solo,
Okay,
on my instrumental record. I didn't play it to you.
The question is, there are 3 guitar players in front of you, and they all played fabulous solo.
Uh-huh.
How do you start your solo to show everyone you are the man on stage?
Behind my neck. Like this.
It's not about what you play, it's
about how you look.
play it. Right.
But you know this picture where I play behind my head in front of Ian Gillan?
Yeah.
That's exactly why I did that.
Because there were other guitar players?
No, but I wanted Ian
to remember
and to remember me.
Yeah.
And it was the first show we played together during the solo of Highway Star. And I didn't practice.
You knew the song?
I knew the song, but I didn't practice to play behind my head.
Okay.
And during the song, the solo gets closer and closer. And I said to myself, it was actually in Frankfurt.
Oh, really?
Festhalle. No, egal. Anyway, and the solo gets closer and nearer and nearer and closer. And I said to myself, Alex, you have to do something so this guy next to you understand what you are all about. And then I just took the guitar and just do, and I played it behind my head. And Ian Gillan turned around and he looked at me like this. And I have a photo of this moment in my Facebook.
And now he knows who you are.
And it wasn't perfect, but it looked amazing.
Great, yeah. Remember this, kids.
Yeah.
Act like a big shot, even though you don't know the solo, but you have to.
I always say it's called show business, not hide business.
Oh, right. You're completely right. That's
right.
Okay.
Old school.
Okay, last question. What was the last thing that you learned on the guitar?
Oh. You mean by somebody shown me, or I watched a YouTube video?
Yeah, something like this. That you really wanted to learn, and then you had to sit down and practice it.
Oh, actually, you know what? That's funny. The last thing I learned to play on the guitar, that's funny, is the intro solo, organ solo of Child in Time.
The organ solo?
The organ solo.
On the guitar?
On the guitar. Right. And I'm gonna play it tomorrow in our cover trio.
But you're not playing it with a synthesizer?
I play it with a little box. It sounds like an organ on the guitar. Yeah.
The E9 or what
C9.
is it? C9.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. That's the last thing I learned.
So you didn't learn a blues lick or you played something completely different, but I think it was challenging.
Yeah, it was actually not difficult, but well, it's this one little part which is like unusual for a guitar player.
Okay.
But yeah, I like to do stuff like this.
Great. Alex, thank you very much. 10 questions.
Yeah, cool.
From to. Really appreciate it. And
Cool.
thank you very much.
Yeah, anytime.
Kids, have fun. Bye.